In the wild, most stories end the same way. The hunter chases, the prey flees, but not tonight. This is the story of the deer that refused to run and dared to face a tiger head-on. The jungle was alive with whispers of danger. Birds shrieked warnings from the canopy, and the cool evening breeze carried the heavy scent of a predator. The tall grass parted like a curtain, revealing a majestic tiger stepping into the clearing. Its orange coat glowed like fire in the fading light, and its eyes, two chips of emerald ice, were fixed on a single target, a young deer standing frozen in the center of the clearing. You're probably thinking the deer should have bolted, right? No way it could win a fight against such a fearsome hunter. But no, the deer didn't run. You heard me right, it didn't run. Instead, it took a step back, trembling all over. It wanted to escape, truly it did. But it was too late. The tiger was upon it. The tiger lowered its body, muscles coiled like springs, ready to strike. Every instinct, every survival guide, every whisper of the jungle told the deer to flee, but it couldn't. Fear paralyzed it. In those few heartbeats, the tiger pounced. Dust arose, claws flashed, and teeth glistened like daggers under the pale moonlight. But instead of cowering, the deer did the unthinkable. It leaped forward, not away, straight toward the charging beast. With a sharp intake of breath, it struck the tiger in the face with its sharp hooves. Now, tigers are tough, real tough. Mind you, they can take a beating. But this deer packed quite a punch. Imagine this, a full-grown deer charging a tiger like a battering ram. Now picture the impact of those sharp hooves connecting with the tiger's muzzle. Believe it or not, the force knocked the wind out of the tiger. For a split second, the forest held its breath. The deer, standing tall, ears back, breath heavy, stared at the stunned tiger. And there they were, locked in an eye-to-nose standoff, each trying to gauge the other's next move. The tiger, momentarily dazed, shook its head, clearing the cobwebs. As its eyes regained their focus, a snarl twisted its features. The sight before it was nothing short of astonishing. A deer, its prey, was challenging its dominance, daring it to do something. The tiger had hunted many deer, yet never had any shown such audacity. The silence was shattered by the tiger's enraged roar. It lunged again, its paws like pistons driving forward. This time though, the deer was prepared. Leaping aside, it narrowly avoided the fatal blow. Now, the tiger wasn't used to being dodged. Its steps faltered. The deer, gaining a bit of confidence, struck out again. It kicked, it scratched, and in the dim light of the moonlit night, it fought like a cornered rat, desperately trying to hold its ground. The fight was on, and it was as intense as it was unexpected. The clearing, now a battleground, bore witness to the fury of the cat and the desperation of the deer. The tiger, with its lithe body and razor-sharp claws, attacked with calculated aggression. The deer, smaller and weaker, countered with surprising ferocity. Each move of the tiger was met with a desperate defense, each strike parried with a flailing hoof. Time seemed to stand still as the two combatants clashed. The tiger, baffled by its prey's tenacity, circled restlessly. The deer, exhausted and wounded, tried to hold out, but this was a losing battle. The tiger, realizing the futility of a direct assault, changed tactics. It waited, waiting for just the right moment. Then, with a suddenness that belied its bulk, it closed in for the kill. The deer, sensing its peril, made a last-ditch effort to flee, but it was too late. The tiger's paw shot out, catching the deer's leg in a vice-like grip. The deer collapsed, its struggles growing weaker with each passing moment. The tide had turned, and the outcome was clear. Despite its earlier bravado, the deer knew it was in its final moments. The tiger, victorious but puzzled by the deer's strange behavior, prepared to end the fight. The death struggle lasted for minutes, but as the first rays of dawn began to creep over the horizon, the deer's movements grew slower and shallower. The energy that had surged through it ebbed away, leaving behind a profound sense of weariness. As the sun peeked over the trees, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, the deer finally succumbed. The battle was over. The tiger, its hunger sated, its curiosity somewhat appeased, retreated into the dense foliage, disappearing from sight. With the predator gone, the stillness of the early morning descended once more upon the clearing. The rising sun filtered through the leaves, dappling the ground with golden light. As the forest stirred to life, birdsong replaced the sounds of the previous night's struggle. The deer, lying still in the clearing, became a tableau of the night's drama, a testament to the fierce struggle that had unfolded. The story of the deer that didn't run and fought till the end might seem like a simple tale of a lost battle between a cat and its prey, but there's more to it, much more. You see, the deer chose to stand and fight, to face the tiger head-on rather than flee. It didn't run because it wanted to save face, because it wanted to die on its own terms. It wanted to look its enemy in the eye one last time and say, even in death, I will not turn my back on you. Now, some folks might call the deer foolish. Why didn't it use its speed, its agility to get away? But I think the deer had something else in mind. See, running away is easy, but standing up to your fears, that takes real courage. The deer didn't have a weapon, But what it did have was something far more valuable, and that was its spirit. The tiger was strong, powerful, experienced, but it hadn't reckoned with the deer's indomitable will. The deer's spirit didn't break, even when the tiger knocked it down. Even when it felt the sharp bite of the tiger's claws. Even when it knew it was nearing its end. And here's the thing. The deer's story isn't just about its last moments. It's about every one of us who's ever faced a challenge. A setback that seemed too big to handle. A problem that loomed like a tiger in the jungle of our lives. The deer teaches us that sometimes the best thing to do when facing a formidable foe is to stand firm, to meet the challenge head-on, to fight with all our might until the very end. It tells us that while running away might be an option, it's not always the wisest choice. Because when we run from our problems, we don't solve them. We only delay facing them. And sometimes, just sometimes, the problems we run from become bigger, more formidable than they were in the first place. Like the deer, we need to summon our inner strength, our courage to confront the challenges of life. We must be willing to stand up and fight, to claw and scratch, to kick and bite, to do whatever it takes to survive, to prevail. And like the deer, we might find ourselves bruised, battered, wounded in the process. But we must not give up. We must keep going, keep fighting, even when the odds are stacked against us. So, remember the story of the deer that refused to run and fought a tiger to the end. Remember it when you face a daunting challenge, when you feel like giving up in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Let the deer's spirit be your guide. Stand tall, face your fears head-on, and fight with all your heart. Who knows, you might just find that inner strength you never knew you had. You might just emerge victorious from the jaws of defeat.